What is up? Today I want to talk about some of my biggest photography pet peeves. This video is more of a PSA than like a call out or anything particularly mean-spirited. I just wanted to talk about some little things that do bother me, and I wanted to do it in like a fun and lighthearted way. This video is more about entertainment than actually like calling anybody out. And if you're not a photographer or a model and you watch my videos, you'll probably enjoy this one. So with all that said, and with a little disclaimer out of the way, let's jump right in. Number one is people who message me asking to book a shoot without realizing that it costs money. I get so many DMs from people being like, I would love to book a shoot with you, or I love your work, let's work together, or something like that. And so then I will send them my availability and I will send them my rate and never hear back from them. They leave me completely unread. It drives me nuts. I do this professionally, so I need to get paid to do it. Sometimes people will message me looking to do like a collaboration and they have never modeled before. They have no shots in their portfolio. They have like 42 followers on Instagram and their profile is completely private. Like, first, I don't know what you look like. I know that you're not a professional model because professional models pretty much all have really established social medias, and I'm not gonna get anything out of doing a shoot for you for free other than potentially missing out on a client. I also get a lot of DMs from people reaching out being like, if you ever need models, let me know. And it's like, well, I need professional models. Like when I'm gonna work together with somebody on a collaborative basis, it is gonna be with another professional, because the work that professional models can do and like the way that they can come across in photos is much different than some random person who maybe is pretty. And that brings me to item number 2 on this list, which is people who want to get into modeling and maybe are willing to pay me for a shoot, which is great, but they have never tried to learn anything about modeling before booking a shoot. You know, a lot of the times people think that being a professional model is just a matter of being tall and skinny and pretty. And there are a lot of tall and skinny people out there who aren't professional models, because it takes a lot more than just the way that you look. If you come into my studio and you sit there and you stare forward and you don't move and you just look like this the entire shoot, I am gonna get one good photo of you. And it's gonna be a photo of you looking like that. If you move around and you give me different poses, you give me different hands, you give me like shoulder placement, hand placement, if you know what you're doing with your angles and you're really working, then I'm gonna get a huge wide variety of photos of you, and all of them are gonna look good. And you're gonna get a much better bang for your buck if you're paying me for a portfolio session, if you have studied posing and angles and all of that beforehand. If you wanna get into modeling, before you book a shoot with me, you should study posing, you should practice posing, you should learn your angles, try taking some pictures of yourself, learn about the industry. You know, you can watch YouTube videos of other models at work and testimonies that they have filmed themselves. You can watch reels and other content made by professional models and really take an interest in the art, because it is an art and a lot of people don't understand that, and they place the entire burden of creating compelling images on the photographer. And you know, I'm a good photographer, I'm not gonna lie. I can make great images, but I can only do so much if you are only giving me one look the entire shoot. At the very least, go and binge watch some America's Next Top Model and then come shoot with me. Number 3 is asking for photos immediately after the session. I think every single photographer watching this who like works with people knows this frustration. My contract says 2 weeks because it is going to take 2 weeks to get your photos to you. There are pretty much no conditions under which I will have the photos available next day. Like, I cannot imagine a situation in which I would, unless we have agreed beforehand on an expedited timeline, which usually almost always comes with a cost increase. I especially won't have them right away if you don't pay me. If we do a collaborative shoot together and you ask me for the photos like 2 days later, I will probably never collaborate with you again, because it drives me so crazy. If we shot a collaborative shoot together, I'm sure it was a great time, but that shoot is at the bottom of the stack because all of the paid work that I had that week and the week before comes first. And so number 4 on the list is kind of related, I think, to asking for photos too soon after the shoot, and that is asking for sneak peek photos. So what are sneak peek photos? You know, it's when you send maybe 2 to 6 images shortly after the shoot and before the rest of the gallery is finished. I do not offer sneak peek photos unless we have explicitly talked about that beforehand and that was part of our contract, right? And I'm sorry, there are a lot of people who I know and love who have done this. If you're watching this video, no shade to you at all, but hear me out. Okay, so there's a lot more that goes into getting sneak peek photos ready than you would think. First of all, I need to have space available on my computer to bring the photos over. That's usually 2,000 to 3,000 photos, and it can be like 60 gigabytes of storage, right? My computer is cluttered with all of the photos from the previous shoots that I've shot and edited, maybe last week or the week before, that I am currently working on. So I need to sort, edit, upload, ship, back up all of those photos from previous shoots before I can even look at yours. Once I have enough space on my computer for our shoot, I have to sort the shoot. There's usually, 2,000 to 3,000 photos, so it's gonna take hours. It takes hours and hours and hours. Then, once the photos are sorted, in order to get your sneak peeks, I'm gonna go through and find my favorite 8 or something, and edit those. I take them over into Photoshop. Well, the hard part about editing a set of photos is editing the first photo. And that's because in the first photo, you get all your settings and your color balance and everything and how the shoot is gonna look, and then you can copy and paste those settings into other photos and then tweak them. So I'll tweak things like crop and brightness and contrast, but the color balance and overall vibe of the photos is established in the first edit or two. That heavy lifting of editing that first photo still needs to get done if I'm sending you sneak peeks. So basically, the process involved in sending you sneak peeks is 30 or 40% of the work involved in sending you the entire gallery. So unless you really need a sneak peek for a website or something, and we've again talked about that ahead of time, I'm not going to prioritize it because I know that once I have enough time to sit down and get you the sneak peeks, I probably also have enough time to sit down and get you the rest of the gallery. Moving on, we've got number 5, which is asking for raw images. Oh my god. I don't think that means what you think it means. I don't think you're gonna get what you think you're gonna get. Raw images are not what you think they are. When people ask me this, it makes me think that they think that my edits are just superfluous and maybe tweaking the crop, but they do nothing to the overall quality of the photo, and I'm just sitting on this massive mountain of untapped gems from our shoot, and when I give them the raws, they're just gonna get a whole boatload of the quality of images that they've already gotten. No. No. For one thing, raw images are huge, right? They are massive files. I can't digitally send you raws. WeTransfer's file limit is 2 gigabytes or something, and one raw file is 20 megabytes, right? I have no way of sending you 60 gigabytes of files digitally. If you buy me a hard drive, there's a chance that I'll agree to put the raws on that hard drive and mail it to you, but there's no chance that I'm gonna be able to get them to you through an email. It's literally impossible. But the second problem is that they're unedited. Edits do have a significant impact on the quality of the photo. Every photo I take is shot with the assumption that I will be either editing it or deleting it later. I don't do little fiddly things like adjusting the white balance in camera constantly, because you have to constantly readjust it for every shooting condition. And I also don't get hung up on getting the perfect exposure or getting my horizon lines perfectly straight. This is all things that I can do really, really easily in post, and I know that I'm going to be editing this photo later, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm just okay, well, deal with that in post, because it's gonna take me a second and a half to fix it. I also don't get every photo in focus or capture every facial expression in a perfectly flattering way or get the great composition in every photo. A lot of the photos are duds. I take 1,000 photos and then I send you 20 of them, and for every one awesome photo you see, there's 9 really subpar or identical photos that I've deleted. I delete 85% of the photos that I take, and I only edit and ship maybe 5 to 8% of them. And those 5 to 8%, trust me, they are the best ones. There's no untapped gems that I'm sitting on and holding back from you. Trust me, trust me. So, you don't believe me. Here is an edited photo that I would send to a client, but here's what it looked like as a raw image. Here's another one. Not great, right? If I mailed you 100 gigabytes of these on a $150 hard drive that you paid for, would you be happy? Probably not. Okay, final piece on this. My edits are part of my photos, right? So you may say, oh, I'll just take them and I'll edit the rest. Most of the time, the client does not know how to edit photos. Maybe you'll open an app and put a filter on it, but that's it, and that is not equivalent to what I do. If you don't have a copy of Photoshop, you probably won't even be able to open the raw images. You certainly, I don't think, can open them on your phone, so don't know how that's gonna work for you. But yeah, my edits are part of the art that I create when I create photos, right? The photo itself, the raw image, is it's like an unfinished sketch. A painter will sketch something out and then do line work and then paint over top. And if you commissioned a painter to paint you a photo and then you're like, oh, just send me all the sketches and I'll paint it myself. No, you won't. No, you won't. And certainly that painter wouldn't want you painting over their sketches and then hanging those up in a gallery and claiming that it's the painter's work. I don't want you to put up photos that you have edited that I took, because then people are going to think that that's how I edit my photos, and if it doesn't reflect the quality or the standard or even just the style of work that I usually do, then that's going to impact how people view my art and me as an artist. That said, I do collaborate with a lot of photo editors who are like professional photo editors, and I consider that to be a collaboration between two artists, and it's not like the final product is my photo with their tweaks, it's our photo, right? Because we've both, as artists, worked on it together. That is my list of photography pet peeves. That is not an exhaustive list, but I figured I'd keep it a little bit shorter just for the sake of it. I know this is kind of a fun, fluffy video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Did not mean to offend anybody. Do not take any of this personally. 100% none of these things are targeting any one person. These are all things that like 20 people have done, so don't worry about it. If you are a photographer and you have a pet peeve that I did not mention, please do not hesitate to share it down below. I would love to hear other people's pet peeves because I probably agree with a bunch of them. And if you're interested in seeing another video like this, I could make a part 2 at some point. I have a whole bunch of things that I cut from the list, so maybe I'll talk about those in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon. Maybe not next week. I'm going to Argentina, actually, for the end of January, and then I'll be in LA. So you'll see a lot of Argentina and LA themed content in the near future. I just don't know if I'm gonna get it together to get a video out immediately, but we'll see. I will see you soon, and in the meantime, stay sharp and don't forget to keep shooting. Bye guys.